So here laid out, we have our Dormont Quick Disconnect Kit. Everything in this kit is here on this table. We have our hose, our gas line itself, 3/4 inch in this instance. We also have 2 swivel elbows joints, as well as our Dormont Quick Disconnect. And last but not least, we have our restraining cable so that way your equipment doesn't drift away from the wall and rip that gas line right out. Tools that you will need to do this job in installation/repair is a large crescent wrench, maybe 2 if you have them. If not, we can also substitute a pipe wrench, large one as well. Last but not least, 2 things you will need are your Parker O-Lube for your joints, as well as your pipe joint compound to seal things up together. So the first thing we'll be doing is connecting our first swivel joint. Keep in mind, we got our pipe compound here. Anytime that you're connecting 2 threaded ends together, you're going to want to use this joint compound. So we'll apply just a little bit on the inside of the swivel. We'll apply just a little bit to the male end on the hose. And from there, we can just start screwing this on finger tight. Then once you've got it finger tight, this is where we'll need our tools. You're going to want to put your pipe wrench on this side just as a placeholder. And get your crescent wrench on the other end. And we'll just slowly tighten this. Once you feel it nice and snug, you want to stop there. You don't want to over crank it. So now we'll do the same thing to the other end. Again, keep in mind we're applying it to connecting 2 threaded ends together, male, female. So we're going to use some of this compound. And same thing. Apply this one finger tight. Make sure you're holding the hose base, otherwise it's going to spin around freely. Same thing again. Keep in mind we're going to use this pipe wrench just as a placeholder. And we're going to get our crescent wrench. I'm going to torque this tight. It's just got to be nice and snug. Keep in mind you want the female end of your quick disconnect with the collar on it. And it's going to be applied to your male end of your swivel elbow. Keep in mind we're applying 2 threaded connections here, so we want some of this pipe compound. And the same thing applies. Get it on nice and finger tight. Then once you got that, again, we can just use our pipe wrench here as a placeholder. And again, same thing as the 2 swivel elbows. You want to crank it, but you don't want to over crank it. It's got to be nice and snug. And once you feel that resistance, you want to stop there. You don't want to break it. So here's your newly assembled Dormont Quick Disconnect gas hose. So the last piece we need to connect here is our male end of our quick disconnect up to the actual gas line on your range or your fryer or your equipment in your restaurant. Again, we're connecting 2 threaded ends, so we're going to need our trusty pipe joint compound applied to both ends, male and female. And from here, we're just getting it nice and finger tight, just like last time. And depending on how secure the gas line on your equipment is, you may need 1 or 2 wrenches. And again, just like all the other ones, we want to crank this down, but we do not want to over crank it. Place or install your Dormont Quick Disconnect gas hose.